Good morning, everyone. It's the 11th of October and just going past 9 o'clock in the morning here in the Sable d'Olonne. So, interesting stuff going on, but not much going on, sort of, anyway. So, the leaderboard here has Simon Kerwin in the lead still, did 149 nautical miles in the last 24 hours, which is pretty cool. There he is there and got some very solid trade winds. In fact, it's starting to pick up with some little yellowy, orangey patches there. So, that means, as he mentioned yesterday in his phone safety check call, which is on SoundCloud, he's getting 25, 30 knots, gusting higher even, and these are solid trades there. When you see the yellows turning up, that's forecasting 25, 28, which means it's gusting over 30. So he's on a hoot. Right now he's doing 6.2 knots, keeping on the run line, which is important, but that makes sense too because it's he's got it just forward of the beam there, so it'd be wet, maybe a bit uncomfortable. Sea's probably a couple of metres, 2 to 3 metres or something, and roaring along. Bernard Matesi, of course, looks like it's going to beat him. But anyway, Abelish is next on the list, 124 nautical miles yesterday, and Tapio 153 nautical miles, then Pat Lawless 157, and Kirsten 130. So then it goes down to Damien and so on, only doing 130 mile days. But anyway, I just wanted to explain before we get into the positions. This is the issue about turning the corner, when to turn. You'll actually see if we assume that Simon's doing about 130 miles a day. This is say 4, 3. So this is about 4 days away. Okay, so in about 4 days he's going to be down, around about Trinidadi, and then the new tactical issues dealing with weather that's not just trade winds comes into effect. So about 4 days from now. So let's just follow this target through. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 days. So 4 days from now. This is what he's going to have. So he'll be down around here at that stage, and you can see the weather's going to soften off. He can't dive into this one. He's going to be challenged with that. And then if we look at the tail, the next group, they're only a couple of 100 miles behind. So when Simon's here, they're going to be back here. So Simon's going to slow down. These four here, Abelish and Pat and Tapio, Kirsten, they're going to start to squeeze that gap and catch up a little bit. And then there's no trade winds at all coming up. So this will be their chance to sort of start to group together, and then you'll see all sorts of funny tactical stuff going on as it moves forward. So that's when Simon's about to arrive here. You can see behind them, though, the trades are still pretty well established. So the middle group is going to keep sailing, while the lead group starts to face the challenges and realities of turning across and getting under the Cape of Good Hope. So that's when they arrive. We go forward another day to the 16th. Sorry, for 16th. What do we got? Okay, we've got headwinds. So that's not a good look. So they'll still be coming down here and wondering what to do. Now, you probably hear me talking. I always ask them on the phone, so you're getting any weather reports, They're all trying to wait to Rio de Janeiro signal. Rio's just over here, and they're issuing the weather facts weather maps. So those that can get them will have an advantage because they'll know what's going on. Those that don't, well, we'll see how friendly the entrants get on the radio to tell people about weather, because now it comes down to performance, and those at the front that are looking at trying to win this amazing challenge and adventure may not be so keen to share some of their weather information now, because it can have a critical effect on their progress going forward. Not only does Rio put out the weather facts information, they put out radio weather forecasting from WMO, the high seas forecast, but I'm really surprised that I know a lot of the entrants, some of the entrants, are not even attempting to get radio weather reports, and some of them don't even understand some of those processes. So it's very interesting to hear to this point. The weather's not so critical. You've got to go there, you got to go with what you got. But now, if you know what's happening here, you've got a huge advantage over someone who doesn't. So it's kind of interesting. So moving a bit forward again, you can see here more challenges because you've got headwinds. They can't turn yet. They've got to work out what they're going to do. And this is the start of another South Atlantic high forming, and it'll move across to the east, but we can't see it. Well, you can see it starting to come through to the east. Okay, so the guys behind in the mid-range fleet, they'll probably have an advantage because the other guys would be sailing down here wondering what to do. They've got to get the other side of this high. And if we look at the positioning here, we can't see it moving across, but this is the classic South Atlantic high. Okay, and it's going to move in this direction. It'll probably decrease in size. It'll get squashed up by these storms, or stronger pressure gauges down here, and it'll probably be traditional. It's forming up here. They've got to come down around the bottom, but certainly there's going to be some very interesting challenges start to appear, and even all the followers won't be used to that, because up until now they've got to go this way, and it's trade winds, doldrums, things like that. So challenges ahead. Anyway, so what have we got with the fleet? We'll just come up here a bit. Might get one more. And so as we said before, Simon's rocketing along. This is the interesting one. When I look at Abolish's course now, I'm absolutely convinced he's running a kite, because there's no reason. If he had head sails up, he would be holding closer to the run line. The wind here is very much a southeasterly, okay, but Abolish seems to be wanting to keep it specifically behind the beam. So I may be wrong, but when we talk on the phone sometime soon, I'll ask him, hey, you been running the kite or what? Tapio and Pat would be running head sails, because you can see the wind there is forward of the beam, and they're still making good speed. It'd be wet, there'd be spray, water coming over the deck, excuse me. But having fun. Kerson's lucking out here. There's a band of heavier weather here, stronger winds. This is what Simon was experiencing before. She's got it, and you can see the wind there has got it's a little bit more to the south rather than the southeast. Or no, that's pretty much close to southeast. Stronger. She's had to bear away a little bit, probably to keep the boat a bit more comfortable. Stop it slamming maybe. In fact, let's just see what the sea is doing here. See how big it is. Okay, yeah, some of it's starting to pick up. Now, remembering back here is where the light blue is probably only 1 metre. Down here, it's probably 2 metres. When you start to get into this colour zone, the purples, it's going up around 3, maybe even more. You remember, if you look down here on the colour scale, there's 2 metres, still in the blue. There's 6 metres when it's panning off to it'd be a bit lighter than red. In the middle, it'd be, that'd be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4. So that'd be 4 metres there. So yes, they're around 3 metre seas, maybe getting a little bit higher, 3 and a bit. So Simon's in that as well, and the other guys have got only 2 metres. So anyway, so Kerson's not making the rum line at the moment. She's getting squeezed up into the corner. Let's go back to the wind. And she'll be thinking, I've got to get over a bit soon. But anyway, we'll wait and see what happens there. Abel is still in a commanding position. He's able to keep the boat speed up, so he has caught up on the other two. He's in front by not much. That's probably about 30 miles or so, for maybe a bit more, 40 miles. But anyway, he's going to cut the corner, and as I was predicting, he should be second around with Simon, and I suggested that 3-4 days ago. Anyway, let's just look at the Damien situation while we're here, and we've got the leaders in the front. Remember the Magic 550, he was losing out yesterday, and I reckon he's lost another 20 miles or so last night, because Simon's, or yesterday, if we put that right on the front there, put this one right on the front there, 591. So he's lost out another 30 odd miles in the last 24 hours. So not gaining yet, but there's a squeeze coming up the front. So he's going to do pretty well on that. Let's just see. See this second lead group here, still 230 miles behind, generally behind Simon. So they've still got a way to go. Anyway. So coming back up here, get rid of that. Ayrton will be so happy. Let's just put the big track on. You can see this was his nightmare zone. But right now, straight as a die, on track. He's caught up. He's right on the rum line. He's making 6.1 knots. I think he'll be listening to music right now. He was really the most frustrated of all the sailors through the doldrums, I reckon. Captain Goog doing 4 knots. It's unusual. I would have thought he'd be making a bit better than that, but it's still night time, that one there as well. So, and there's possibly the wind's up and down. So at night you tend to back off a bit, and then as soon as the sun comes up, then you get cranking. So, and these positions, remembering, were at 4 o'clock UTC this morning, which was 6 o'clock French time. So So that's, you might be just taking it easy tonight. I used to do that. Most sailors do, except for Damien maybe, and Tapio and Kirsten. And anyway, so Jeremy's doing okay. He's got a breeze, 4.3, and that may be part of it. It's softening off as we go back. Damien's in the slightly stronger. Even here you can detect the stronger green, whereas Goog's back in the slightly lighter with Jeremy. So that's probably why he's doing 4.3, same as Jeremy. Guy will be okay. He'll be happy with that, 4.7. And Ian Herbert Jones still a bit light on, but that's the last 4 hours up until 4 o'clock. And this wind here has actually been going over the top of him, so he might pick up. Nord's still in touch. He's back there, 3.8. And poor old Elliot. Wow, this is Elliot's nightmare. You can see here it's all still a bit soft. I'm pretty sure he's not trying to go slow or anything, but he's only doing 3.1. He's just frustrated by conditions. Now, he's got to hang in there, because we'll start looking at the weather going forward. He's right on the cusp of it. So if we go forward a day, here's about a day, it's going away from him. So he's got a bit of an issue, and also Arnaud, he's got to keep the pressure on because he's in a similar situation. The rest of them are still in trades. Ian should get through. He should be into this stuff here by tomorrow, so he's okay. So it looks like Arnaud and Elliot are still going to be challenged. Go forward another day to the 13th. Same thing again. Arnaud's in real trouble now because he's got no wind. He might come down to here. Let's hope so. That's still in a couple of days. Yeah, he's going to be on the edge. And Elliot should be cool. By then he should be down here and still have breeze, and hopefully he can get a move on from that. So not a disaster, but not looking good. Nord's going to be in here somewhere. He'll still be chasing it, but Elliot will have breeze. So 3 days out, they're okay. All the rest of them, same stuff. They'll be rocketing down in these days. They're in the trades well and truly, and that's it. So I think